everybody. Welcome to Fun, a podcast where we take fun very seriously. As always, it's Dan, your Chuckle King, back again for another delicious chat for your ear holes, or if you're watching on YouTube, your eye holes. Whichever way you want to do it. I like a video podcast. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. I like having the companionship of the face. You know what I mean? It's like watching the news, but it's not depressing. You know what I mean? So like the endless talking heads, but it's not sad.
I haven't been in the country for a while. I have no idea what's going on in the news. Why would it be depressing?
Nothing. You're good. Jimmy Carter's president again.
Yeah. Everything's great, Rocco.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Everything's been fine.
Okay.
You left everything
Nice.
great.
Well, good to hear.
Don't worry.
Good.
It's all good.
As with me, as always, I have Nathan, the podcast producing Chuckle Wizard. Nathan, welcome.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us once again.
Good evening, Deanna. It's so good to be with you for this episode, especially. I brought some frozen bananas because I'm hopped up on potassium for this very banana centric episode.
Oh yeah. There's going to be a lot of bananas in this episode for sure.
Yeah.
And with us, I have a very fancy guest, so I might as well. I should. Let me get fancy here because I got to look good for our guests because we have an icon with us, a legend. And I have to put on the tie. Ladies and gentlemen, the iconic member of Mega64, straight from his modern life, Rocco. Hello, sir. Welcome.
Wow, that you had the tie ready to go and everything.
Yeah,
I didn't realize. I was so Disney minded, Disney focused. I got the Star Tours thing. I got I kind of thought we'd be talking more about Captain EO this episode, but then this.
There's always room to talk about Captain EO.
Yeah, well, this Donkey Kong thing just happened, and now I guess we're talking about that. So I should have brought. I had the Donkey Konga bongos. I didn't bring any of that. I blew it, but.
Hey, that actually leads me into my first thing I want to ask you about. Why is it that only Donkey Konga has been ported into Mega64 in terms of the Donkey Kong franchises? Or am I crazy? Have I just not been able to find anything else? Because other than the crazy Donkey Konga in the parking lot, Dr. Pock's Mega64 has not. Am I pronouncing that right, or is it Poke?
Yeah. No, you're right. No,
Dr. Pock.
That's correct.
Why hasn't Mega64 Donkey Konged?
Wow, I did not think we were going to be talking about that on this. I'll tell you that. I didn't think we would ever bring up Dr. Pock or any of that on.
Yeah, it's hard breaking news here.
This is next level.
Gotcha questions. That's all we got.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like we always, I kind of feel like dressing like a gorilla and like running around in public was kind of conquered when Jackass did the Night Monkey arc.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. So I just feel like the only real thing we could bring to the table was the musical aspect, which we did with Donkey Konga and the bongos.
It was beautiful. It was really beautiful.
Thank you.
It was great.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. It's just because it brings Mega64 into the real world for some. Because other Mega64, you know what I mean? It's very isolated. It's just some friends having fun. But Donkey Konga is like gotcha journalism.
Oh my gosh,
it's amazing. It's amazing.
Wow. Well, thank you, and I'm hoping with the advent of this new theme park land coming to both Japan and Florida, I hope we get back in touch with Nintendo so that they can let us do that, on a more regular basis.
100%.
In an official capacity.
You were just in Japan.
Yeah, I was.
Did you visit Nintendo?
I didn't actually. I wasn't in. I kind of stayed just in Tokyo this time. So no, I visited the Nintendo store.
Oh, of course.
They and I got a cool keychain of the that sign that keeps falling over in Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
So that's
great. I love
about
that.
all
I
I
love
can
how
report.
niche that is.
Yeah, I got that. So that's attached to my backpack now. That's about all I can say.
Yeah, I'm very excited for what's coming with Donkey Kong and theme parks. And the latest Nintendo Direct was I love when theme parks take over Nintendo Direct. Whoever expects that to happen?
I know. What a world we live in that does happen now, you know?
I know. Can we talk about some of the new stuff from the Donkey Kong Land and get some of Rocco's hot takes on what's hot and fresh?
Yeah. I got some share. Let's do some screen sharing here. I'll bring up the first photo.
We got some
here.
photos so we can get some fresh reactions. All right, here's the land, right? We got the coaster.
Yeah.
Looking amazing. And we have the DK meet and greet space with the pile of bananas.
Yeah.
The land is full of the bongo drums and DK barrels. I'm hyped for this. I think this is going to be incredible.
Yeah. The meet and greet, like Donkey Kong, like when they showed Donkey Kong and how big he was, that was kind of breathtaking. Like you didn't expect to be able to be like crushed by him. You know,
that man's
what I mean?
got shoulders.
No, not so. But you know, when you look at how well they did Mario and Luigi and Toad and Princess, it was only like, well, yeah, you have to, like, with the scale of, like, they went out of their way to cast very tiny team members for Toad.
Yeah.
So you know, they want to play with scale, and this feels like on the same scale size as Sully from Monsters Inc. in the Disney World parks.
Sure.
You know, just like that big hulking kind of foam body that just is covered in fur. It looks stupendous. It looks like it's pulled right out of the video game, man. It's wild.
Yeah. It's funny though, because, you know, playing the Donkey Kong Country games for years, I don't know why maybe it was just the way they were scaled in the game. I always thought he was smaller. Like I always thought
it was always, like, I don't know, 3/4 his size. It wasn't that much different.
Yeah, Diddy Kong was always a little bit smaller. But, you know, when you look at the land, though, Mario and Luigi are so much bigger than us. And they're just in their one red mushroom size.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
That's
so
true.
When you scale that to Donkey Kong, you know what I mean? Think about it. Because you don't want to go to Nintendo Land and meet, I just got hit, Mario, so now I'm small Mario. You want to
that would be a lackluster experience.
Yeah. You want one mushroom Mario minimum. I would love Fireball Flower Mario. If they could give me that.
Yeah,
I would love that. Give me that as a seasonal overlay for the fall or something.
Yeah, totally. No, but I have to say, like, you know, I'm not the kind of person, I'll just say for myself, you know, and I love theme parks, whatever, but I've never been the biggest meet and greet guy. You know, I think it's great they do that, but I'm not typically the one lining up for that, whatever. But when they brought Toad to Super Nintendo World, that was like,
groundbreaking.
I have to meet Toad. Like, I don't have an option. I have to go. And they're killing it with this stuff. Like, they really are, like, making it where it's like, well, this is like its own experience. I have to do this.
1,000%. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And the new roller coaster is out of this world. The minecart aspect of it, I don't know how it's going to hold 4 American big old butts on one arm and not like sustain. But I guess it's like a reverse like sky bucket, you know, like concept, I guess. So I guess if that doesn't bend and that's okay, then I guess this will be okay too. I don't know. It makes me a little suspicious. I got to start dieting now so I can cut down for May of 2025 to get on those rides, because they're very fat phobic over there, you know.
Now,
oh man,
we have.
Dude,
We have a couple. I was going to say we have a couple animatronics as well on the ride, which there's a couple like slightly movable animatronics in Mario Land, but are these like these feel like the most articulate? I've seen.
Cranky Kong's looking amazing. He looks like he's right from the cartoon, man. It's wild.
Yeah.
Well, he looks better than the cartoon. Everything looks better than the cartoon.
Well, not much looks better than that cartoon, but but now I'm trying to think. You mentioned there's a couple serviceable animatronics in Super Nintendo World. I'm trying to think, what are they? I mean, there's obviously all the ones all around the land.
Yeah, the Koopa's moving. Yoshi has a couple, has like the caterpillar thing, and there's a couple articulate, and then there's like a little scene in the Yoshi People Mover. But there's not a ton of animatronics, but
like
there are
talking,
little little
I mean, I guess they're on the Mario Kart ride. You know, you got a chain chomp that's actually, you know,
that's
okay.
True.
Yeah, I'm just trying to recap it all in my mind.
Right.
But,
they also have bongos. They have Donkey Kong bongos there that you can play. And then if you play well enough, Rombi Rhino gets summoned, which I am like, that tickled me so much that they have like this. I mean, like literally the game. They have the GameCube game at the theme parks, guys. This is revolutionary for millennials.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing.
Yeah. That was really I am curious if you'll get to see the swordfish guy and the other what was the ostrich espresso, or what was their
the
name?
Ostrich. He rides an ostrich. I have no idea what the name is. I just know that
something like
Donkey Kong
espresso
rode
or
an
coffee
ostrich
or something.
Yeah, a Sabrina Carpenter song for sure.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm on the research.
That was kind of the Carpenter inspiration, I remember. It's like that's why they play so much Donkey Kong Country footage during their concerts.
As you know.
Like at one point they just stop and do a full speed run.
So the original ones were the original ones were Rambi, of course. And then we had Ungard, the swordfish, which makes sense. Ungard,
the swordfish.
Yeah.
Winky,
what a great name.
Winky the frog. Espresso the ostrich. So correct.
There
points
you go.
for that.
Boom.
And then of course Cranky's hanging out with Squawks in this part. So yeah, we've got two animals that have been represented so far.
Yeah, that's right. Squawks. Okay. It just hit me while you were talking about that. They nailed it in the regular Super Nintendo World part, in Hollywood and Japan, when you go into the bathroom and it's like water level. I will consider the Donkey Kong Land a failure if you don't go to the restroom there and if they don't play the water level music from the original Donkey Kong Country. That really relaxing, like chill vaporwave,
Yeah, we got to get. It'll be there. It's got to be there, right? It's got to be.
If I'm in the stall and I'm just hearing like I'll leave immediately. It just
not finished.
They didn't understand
you can't have
the
a bowel
assignment.
movement to that.
No, too much pressure. Too much pressure.
That's not happening.
It's like these psychopaths who bought this Nintendo alarm clock because they want to wake up to like the Zelda boss sound or something. It's like, I don't need that stress in my life, bro, on a regular basis.
Dude, that alarm clock, I remember literally the first moment they showed it, making a joke to, I think it was Sean over here, making a joke, what is it going to have the Guardian sound from Breath of the Wild? Like, I would rather die than wake up to that. Like, we made a joke, and then we saw the video, and it was like, oh no, that's really
what
in there.
It is. Yeah. That's what it is.
It's gonna have the fairy in it. Just go, hey, and if you don't wake up.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I'd rather have that Guardian noise. No,
the Guardian noise is rough. Yeah.
So I'm about to cover Donkey Kong's costume evolution on my channel because I do costume character histories, and I was fascinated by Donkey Kong's history because right from the get-go, from the original arcade cabinet, they had a costume Donkey Kong character in the commercial, but it was just a gorilla suit. It was just a man in a gorilla suit because that's just like what the visual was. There's like a gorilla at the top of at the top of like this very pixelated video game. So it's just like a gorilla suit man. What are your memories, Rocco, of the original Donkey Kong game?
Oh, I mean, I just remember trying it at the arcade and dying immediately. I would always get hit by a stupid barrel and have to. It's like I got to pay for this again. Like that's my only memory of that.
Yeah.
I was more of a Donkey Kong Jr. guy. Like I had that on NES, and that was more my speed. I was like, regular Donkey Kong is like a little too aggro.
Yes. Okay.
Doing math, Donkey Kong Jr. math, and I became a math whiz from that.
Yeah. Did you remember the commercial for Donkey Kong Jr.?
No. I needed no commercial. I already knew it was good.
Well, they made a Diddy Kong or Donkey Kong Jr. costume character that to advertise the game, and he essentially is scaling the side of a building trying to save his dad.
It's the roughest thing in the world. It's very rough.
He looks like the cousin of Fuzzbucket. That's not good.
Yeah. It's like
he looks like he's about to celebrate Life Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Oh man.
It's like
he looks like he's like the cousin of the from 2001 Space Odyssey.
Oh no.
It's like if Dr. Zaius got leprosy is what it looks like to me. It's just
this is ruining my I had such nice memories of Donkey Kong Jr. and his whole math program.
What do you remember about Donkey Kong Jr.? Because I think it had like it implemented a vine swinging technique that was revolutionary for the DK games.
Yeah, didn't am I thinking of a different game? I'm trying to remember which one was it that there was a little bug spray guy. Like he'd spray your butt with bug spray. Am I thinking of a different game? Or is that a dream I had?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that's very what is that?
Working on
that was in
like
a game for sure.
Donkey Kong 3 or something. What was
Yeah. There were so many of them. There were truly so many of them. Next in the order was Donkey Kong Country, of course, which is like everyone.
And no one played that. Yeah.
No one played it. I remember putting hours into it.
Donkey
kind of a
Kong
low-key
3,
sleeper.
by the way.
No one ever picked it up.
Donkey Kong 3 for Super Spray was the name of it.
Oh, is that what it was?
Super Spray, yeah.
And that was a huge hit, and of course the world was just kind of taken by surprise. Like, oh my God, this guy, you could use bug spray to kill an ape? Who knew? So they did that, and then Donkey Kong Jr. or what was it? Donkey Kong Country came out. No one played it.
No bug spray.
Because Super Nintendo was done by that point. Everyone moved on to Atari Jaguar.
Well, Sega was doing what Nintendo don't, so...
That's a good point. They really were. No,
I have very vivid memories of playing it, but I don't know why I have vivid memories of playing it. Like riding the minecart.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. To be real, like... If you never experienced that, it was a really crazy time when Donkey Kong Country first came out. It really felt like, at the time everyone was like, what's the next step in video games? And I would say until at least the early 2000s, mid 2000s, there was this endless pursuit of realistic graphics. Like, who's going to be able to do realistic graphics? How could that be possible? Who's going to pull that off? Make something look like it real life, And the Super Nintendo, it was really crazy. Like we all assumed we saw everything it could do, and it was like, oh, Super Metroid. How can a video game look better than Super Metroid?
Right.
And then, man, it was so crazy. It was like so late in the life of the Super Nintendo, when Donkey Kong Country showed up, it was like, wait, this is a joke. This is not on Super Nintendo. How could this be on Super Nintendo?
Right.
Like I've never seen, to this day, I've never seen a system get a second life like the Super Nintendo did when that dropped. It was just like, you have to play this game. I've never seen anything like this.
Do you remember the trick that they used? Do you remember like what the big secret was?
No, I mean, I know at one point they were trying that Super Effects chip thing, but
yeah. Well, they apparently it was the first game that had pre-rendered CGI characters.
So
that's they had all of these like reboot looking guys. It's like Donkey Kong reboot. It's like, whoa, it's 3D Donkey Kong on the Super Nintendo. But they essentially tricked you because they just rendered pixels, like little sprites, but they rendered them in CGI. So it was like this. It was like it looked like crazy when they made it.
You were playing like a bunch of animated GIFs essentially, but
yes,
what a
that's
brilliant
exactly what
idea.
you were doing. Yeah.
Who else was doing that?
It came out in 94, and then the system wasn't discontinued in North America till 99, which even
that's true.
It's crazy. I mean, that's a. What's funny is the last person to get it was Russia, the entire system in 94, and then it was discontinued in Russia in 96.
That's what happened to Russia.
So 2 years. 2 years.
Yeah, they were just 2 years late to Donkey Country, and they haven't recovered since. Yeah,
setting off on the wrong foot right there.
Yeah,
off on the wrong foot
when that happened.
Are you aware that there's a series of commercials where they dressed a small Japanese man as Donkey Kong and then put him on the back of a real ostrich and had Donkey Kong riding an ostrich?
I hope that you are.
I have a photo. No, I have.
Yeah, we have evidence. So, so they had, and Diddy Kong was running behind him chasing. They put, and they have, like, they made many of these. They made many of these commercials, and so
to be fair, you can ride an ostrich. Ostrich races are a thing, and this looks like
for sure.
What this is probably like an inflatable. What kind of costume is this, Dan?
No, it's a foam. It's a foam.
Oh, really?
They had a bunch of them that they used for. There was a Super Smash commercial with these costumes. There was a Mario Kart commercial with these costumes. They're very infamous. A whole set that they had. But yeah, they put a dude on an ostrich, and Donkey Kong rode an ostrich in real life, bro.
Wow, I hope to see this in the land as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Just like get a real ostrich going.
Yeah.
Well, they have what's his name, Kevin or whatever from
Oh yeah,
Up, right? Is in Animal Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's no way you're telling me we can't have a similar thing with a little puppet Donkey Kong on it for a parade or something.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
They got to.
Where is that?
They got to do.
Where is that? Why are we sleeping on that?
Yeah.
What do we do?
They got to make that happen.
Okay. Then up next in the Donkey Kong Legacy, of course, is Donkey Konga, which we touched on a little bit earlier, but I really want to talk about this because, like, before Guitar Hero, before any of this stupid, Fortnite festival or whatever, there was Donkey Konga, a instrument game.
Yep.
For your GameCube.
Yeah.
Did you play it?
I did. I was personally a huge fan of, because, to get the timing right here, this was still kind of close to the time that Samba de Amigo came out on the Dreamcast, where it would use maracas. I was a huge fan of the gimmick peripherals.
Yes.
And so I had that, and I saved up for this too. And
what were you doing at the time? What was your job?
Did I have a job? I think I might have been working at Block. No, at that point I didn't have a job. I think I was just kind of like doing, hey, I'll mow the lawn if you give me a couple bucks or, that kind of thing.
We'll work for Kongas.
Right.
Yeah.
So you Dennis the Menace your way to Donkey Konga.
Yes. I think so. And, what kills me is around the same era too. I discovered eBay and how that worked. And, I remember selling a lot of things on eBay, and it really sucks because so many of the things of the GameCube era I don't have anymore, because it was like, oh, Donkey Konga, I'll sell, this Zelda, collection for that. That'll be easy.
Yes.
I already played it, and it's like, oh man.
I was right. I'm right there with you. I have so much.
Dude,
at
really sucks.
one point, I used to have like every color GameCube because like I was just yard selling them, and like people were just like, I could get them for $20 at a yard sale, on eBay they were selling for like $60. So there was a time when I was in like in community college that I would just yard sale GameCubes on the weekend because they're still in such high. People still want those tiny discs, man. And remember they had Ocarina of Time, and then they had like a harder version on like a tiny little bonus disc.
Yeah.
Where they they buffed all the dungeons in Ocarina. Like I love the GameCube, man. It had that dumbass handle that
for portability.
But it just made the whole thing so much more adorable. Like it really embraced the fun of video games. It wasn't trying to be an Apple device or something like that, Right.
So. It wasn't Johnny Ives' Nintendo.
Yeah. Although that would be fun, too, if Johnny Ives designed their next thing. The Switch 2 is the darkest shade of black. Like, we use a capillary effect to make the Joy-Cons. They're still going to drift, but there's
this time the
games
drift
that
is
use
intentional.
the drift. Yeah, but it's intentional, and you'll love
drift.
it.
Yeah, it's autism drift.
Yeah. That's what we need right now, artisan drift.
All right.
That should be the name of the next time they do a Donkey Kong game. It should be called that, Donkey Kong Country Artisan Drift. I think that'd be a great title.
GameCube also was just the era of Donkey Kong, I feel like. It felt like, with Smash Brothers is when I really leaned into Donkey Kong, Smash Brothers Melee on GameCube. Because the DK Smash, it was just such a great finisher, in my opinion. Once you had that... Once you had your opponent like up in percentage, you could just pound the map and launch them, Yeah. I loved a DK.
Yeah. The Smash Brothers Melee, that was a great game, but That was one where I knew so many people that went like aggro competitive on it. I'm like the least competitive person. So I love all the Smash Brothers games, but that was one where I had to like, after a week of it, it was like, whoa, this is too serious. Like I gotta, there's
People
still
got
people
really serious about that. I forgot.
are still playing it now. And it's just like, yo, chill. Chill.
You know what? That's so interesting because like we live in the era of, and I never even thought about it until just now, and I don't mean to side tangent, but I know how everyone has a big boner for like Warcraft vanilla. And like, I know that like Fortnite is now doing like, oh, we're bringing back Fortnite OG permanently. And every week we'll roll through a new chapter of just play OG Fortnite, play Fortnite vanilla. And it's kind of amazing that Nintendo, specifically with like Super Smash Brothers and those games, they continue to be the vanilla version of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're it's so interesting how nostalgic we are for like the vanilla of Smash. You can't mess with Smash Brothers on GameCube. It's just Smash Brothers on GameCube. That's just what it is, you know? Like everyone's even in the world of GameCube discs.
Yeah.
Dan, I feel like we've missed a discussion though about Donkey Kong 64 and the desire to be the next GoldenEye, but with banana guns, if you remember. Do you remember banana guns, Dan? You saying banana guns is not. It should trigger something in me, but I don't. I'm empty. Yeah. I'm empty. Oh yeah. There was a time.
I didn't play Donkey Kong 64. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
I must have rented it. I must have blockbustered it.
Yeah, I just remember being stunned because it had that intro with the legendary DK rap.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, whoa, this is a whole vocal rap and everything. But I remember being shocked in my seat when they say, I forget which Kong, he's one hell of a guy. Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, they just said
hell.
They just said hell?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
In a Nintendo game.
I was scared like my mom and dad were going to get mad. It's like, dude, this is saying some bad stuff.
I specifically remember there was an episode of Clarissa Explains It All where her little brother says the word hell. And speaking about the neighbor's dog, the hound from hell. And I was like, bro, I can't believe they just said hell on Clarissa Explains It All.
Yeah.
Well, she
I remember
explained
asking my mom, was like, hey, would you get mad at me if I said the place where the devil is? And she's like, yeah, I would. Why?
Oh man!
I was like, because I heard it on Nickelodeon.
yeah.
Dan, that's how you don't get more Nickelodeon. Like, don't you know the rule? You don't tell your parents these things.
Yeah.
What did I know?
Well, I was honest with mine. I said, hey, Clarissa, she just explained it all.
Yep.
Let me tell you.
It's her job.
And I remember too, around the same time, they made a similar decision that there was like a moment in Nickelodeon where they just decided you could say crap too. Because I remember it was like they made that verdict and then Ren and Stimpy was saying that like 40 times an episode. And it was just like, you don't need to say that so many, like.
It was
anything
clean. To be subversive to the Disney Channel. You know what I mean? However we can, man, Ren and Stimpy's wild. Rocco's Modern Life, wild. These cartoons, real monsters, insane. Like what kind of content were we? And like I watch my kids watch like stupid like slime YouTube, and I'm like, they're fine. I watched the most benign, insane crap. Rocco's Modern Life was not sane, guys. It's no less or more sane than Mr. Beast. I'm being honest. So
yeah. I'm curious too. I know I'm jumping around a little bit here, but
let's jump. That's what Donkey does.
As you mentioned before,
that's what DK does.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Well, I was at Tokyo Disneyland only like a day ago, and they have that show.
You bastard! I hate you so much.
Sorry, that's okay. I must have sat in the pizza restaurant and watched that little Tony Solaroni pizza alien for like 12 hours.
My boy Tony Solaroni.
Dude, okay, first of all, tangent on a tangent.
Let's tangent.
Trying to find that plush there, I did not have good luck when it came to the merch, because everywhere I was going, I was like, Country Bears? Do you have Country Bears merch? And it was like, here's a roll of tape with the Country Bears on it. I'm
That's it? So I was there in May and they had nothing Country Bears. And then they had like a huge wave of stuff and then it was all gone again. And this guy was like in a corner in the store next to Pizza Port or whatever that.
Yeah. Well, that a lot of that's under construction right now, but I was going up to the clerks to the cast members that work there, showing a picture of that plush on my phone. And it was so funny because they got really serious. They were like, okay, hold on. Okay, one second. And then they got the whole crew together and they brought out a device that had like an app on it that you could see all the merchandise. I'm telling you, I was probably standing there for a full 20 to 25 minutes while they just went, oh, no. They were just No. And then they would go, page 3. No. Page 4. No. And I mean, after like 15 minutes, it was like, that's okay. I'll just keep looking. But they were just like, we're going to check. We if we have it, we're going to get this to you.
Yeah. The customer service over there is top notch.
It was unbelievable. Like they were just like, no, this is our goal today. And it was like, oh, it's okay. I'm good.
I'm so used to like Disney World just spitting on me and telling me to go back in line. It's weird.
Yeah.
Get bent.
But anyway,
hold me upside down by my ankles, shaking me, get all the loose change into my
Get
pocket.
bent, loser.
Yeah. But so the reason I brought that up, anyway, they didn't have the plush. Boo-hoo. That's the end of that story. But to back it up, watching that story or that show, the Tony Solaroni show, that's his name, right? Did I get it right?
Tony Solaroni.
There's animation in that show, and it looks like Rocco's Modern Life. Like, I'm curious if Joe Murray or any of those the animators involved in that show were involved in that. I was just watching it like, dude, this looks so similar.
That show is so fascinating too because you get puppetry because all the people he talks to, all of his people are puppets. In kind of, I think, traditional, some of them seem to be hands, but there's a little bit of that kind of like dinosaur-esque kind of variant too. It feels bigger. So there's all sorts of stuff going on there. It's incredible. It's like one of my favorite things.
And I was blown away too by, I'd never seen it before. So all these things were new to me. And sometimes I message with, I don't know if you've had Guy Selga on here before.
Oh, Guy was our first guest.
Mm-hmm. Wow. No
Talking
kidding.
About Country Bears.
Oh, of course. Wonderful guy. And at one point in history, I don't know when, but he gave me his phone number to communicate something to him, maybe at D23 or something like that. And I can only imagine how much he regrets giving me his number because I texted him so many times during this trip. I'm watching the show like, oh my God, I didn't know there were puppets in this. Oh my God. And then I must have messaged him 50 times when I heard the voice of Thurl Ravenscroft in that show.
Yeah.
I'm like, Thurl Ravenscroft up in here? What's going on? He's like, yo, it's 1:30 in the morning. But I was like, was this like his final performance? Like, what? I can't believe this. Like,
it's crazy.
What is this? He's like, I don't know. I just woke up, but, but I felt bad. I messaged him maybe 300,000 times. But yeah, it was a crazy show. I could not believe that.
This is wild. Do you take a stab, Rocco, at the year that Thurl Ravenscroft died?
Oh, was it? I want to say it was
this
early 90s. This is a fun game
we play with all our
mid-
guests.
Yeah.
This is like, hey, guess when Thurl Ravenscroft died?
Oh, man.
All right, what's your official guess?
Great.
We'll add that to the jingle.
No.
Okay. I want to say 93 or 95.
At the age of 91, 2005.
Oh.
Yeah. The man got to see 9/11.
It's when I graduated high school. Oh, my God.
No, that's just true.
Wasn't so great.
It's just weird. I mean, it's just true, Dan.
It's true.
I would have thought that. I would have expected, I agree. I sort of feel like that would have been his last thing, but...
What, 9/11?
No, Tony Solaroni. I mean, maybe. He worked till 1998 as the voice of Kirby in The Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars.
Whoa. I did not know wow, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know he came back for that. That's amazing. Well, hearing him in that show I did not expect that. That was the whole show I did not expect. I was like way too into it. Like everyone there really must have been like just freaked out. I was like pushing my table up to the front row to see the show. I've got a pizza. I'm just like, oh my god, that's his voice. Oh my god, like I was. It was a grim scene.
You ate 7 pizzas just to keep the experience going.
Oh yeah, so they wouldn't throw me out.
Right.
If I got thrown out of the
I'm chewing pizza.
Yeah.
Could you imagine how nice?
Touch me.
How nice are they about throwing people out? They're probably like you probably don't even know you're getting thrown out. They're just like, oh no. They just kind of gently pick you up and cradle you, take you outside.
Yeah. That's
so sweet.
You kind of like being thrown out, maybe.
Tossed more than thrown.
All right, back to DK, Donkey Kong. I have to know.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're talking GameCube era, like with Mario Kart, Mario Sports. Would you go to Donkey Kong when you character select when you're playing? Or do you, like in Mario Kart, you're like, I'm not Donkey Konging because he's too heavy. He's going to weigh the cart down.
Oh, yeah.
He's slow. Like, where are you on the Donkey Kong character selection, like, scale?
Never. I was always like a fan. I was always a fan of like, give me the default. Like, put me as Mario. Give me the standard level everything. Like Donkey Kong, he's going to weigh that thing down, and I can't be doing that.
Right. Okay. So it's interesting.
Gonna be cumbersome.
Yeah, I would always go with Yoshi or Toad because, like, clearly smaller, more like agile. Even when I'm playing Mario Tennis, Mario Golf, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know, oh my god, just Yoshi. There's a mini game on Smash Brothers GameCube. It's like a baseball, like hitting a baseball sack. As far as you can with a baseball bat. You remember this mini game?
Mm-hmm.
And you had to use Yoshi specifically because he had the attack where he would like spin his feet and would beat up the little like the punching bag before you picked up the baseball bat and smashed it. I could never do it.
Were you
no, I was bad at that too.
Were you a Mario Party Donkey Kong person, Dan?
I wasn't playing Mario Party. I think I was like evil. That game was like
the early ones.
First of all, I didn't want to get together with people. Like when it came to video games, for me, video games were like, they represent, and still to this day do, represent like, can I just get away from all you people?
Yep.
Please.
Yep.
And play my single player, like,
yep.
When like Super Nintendo and all that stuff, I was playing the Final Fantasies, I was playing Chrono Trigger. You know, I did not want to like get to, people were like, oh, how great was GoldenEye? I'm like, GoldenEye represented what I wanted to get away from. Like, I don't know. Just you guys get together. I just want to go home and play, play Wild Arms.
Is solo video game time like your self-care? Is that like a part of your self-care?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, turn all this stuff off and let me just explore.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to play it. I didn't even want to play games that were that challenging. It was like I just wanted to like explore a cool place and go, oh wow.
I mean, I remember during COVID, Red Dead 2 felt like going outside. That was like my going outside. It's like I'm going to. I mean, I would take a walk, but I wouldn't go very far. But I could just like ride a horse for a couple hours and just enjoy digital birds.
Yeah, honestly, for me, that game is a great example of that. For me, Death Stranding.
Oh, sure.
Was very just zen. Being able to like, I'm going to deliver a package to the furthest away place and just go. I'm not even going to bring a vehicle. I'm just going to walk, and like go see stuff, and that music starts to come in, and I don't know. That was just very like, that was a key experience during the pandemic. That like made me feel better. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Purpose.
It's interesting. It's interesting you say that, and you actually might be a great person to talk to about this because we talked to a previous guest, Justin Martin, who is the creative director for Meow Wolf's Convergence Station. I don't know if you've been or not, but we had a really fun conversation about are video games themed immersive entertainment? Are they on the same level, or can they be on the same level as like the Beauty and the Beast ride at Tokyo Disneyland.
Yeah.
And like, where do you stand on that, Rocco? Are video games as good as better than the Haunted Mansion when it comes to like an immersive experience? Like,
I mean,
what do you think?
I kind of think they occupy a similar place in your brain a little bit, at least they do for me, I mentioned before, I don't always play like the most challenging games. Like a lot of times I play them on easy just because, to me, I want to explore this kind of theme space that someone made. I want to, I don't know. I get something out of taking it all in. It's like the creativity of it to me, it's one thing to play Uncharted. Like if you're playing Uncharted, I don't care if it's like hard to beat the guys with guns that are coming at you. Like to me, it's like, yeah, whatever. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, you're gone. But to explore like how they designed all that, or like The Last of Us or something, seeing all of the storytelling via like, the newspaper clippings left on this desk. Oh, the poster.
I even remember that all the way back to like PlayStation Resident Evil. You know what I mean? Like, I know it was spooky. It was a little tricky, but you could play on easy where you got extra herbs and stuff, But like, I have visceral memories of exploring that mansion, and I have never been in it. Yeah. I've never been in it, but I like remember the hallways and the staircases and playing Moonlight Sonata on the piano, to like open the secret door and like collecting like the rolls of film and stuff.
Yeah.
Truly like something that's like baked into my brain.
To me more than even like, not that I don't like the gameplay. I love the gameplay of like I like I said, as a huge Final Fantasy guy, Final Fantasy VII, I love the gameplay in that game. Totally. That's one of my favorite games. But the memory I have the strongest of that game is not the gameplay. It's, this guy Sephiroth, they say he's around somewhere. Where is he? Oh, maybe he's in this building with us now. Who knows? And them all going to sleep, and then you wake up and all the cell doors are open. Oh my gosh. And there's a trail of blood going down this hallway. Oh, and you don't even see this character, but you're following all these artistic little clues that he was here, and I don't know. To me, that sticks with me even longer than like, the gameplay was really fun. Yeah. So, I know everybody
1,000%.
Yeah.
I know everybody feels differently about what they get out of a video game, but to me, that was the appeal of video games. It's exploring some kind of world that you've never seen before and seeing the choices that they make and, that's really clever. That's really cool. Well, that's always the fun. That's the fun of video games and of attractions to me. Not to keep bringing up Tokyo, but
please do.
You bastard. You son of a bitch. You rub it in.
I would never ever. Sorry, but this may piss some people off too. But I'm not a huge thrill when it comes to like rides with like drops. Like I'm not going on like roller coasters, and I'm not a Tower of Terror guy. Sorry,
me either.
But I actually I paid for the like fast pass thing, whatever they call it in Tokyo. I got that for the Tower of Terror in DisneySea.
It's the best one.
Just to go through that queue.
Mm-hmm. And it's pretty. It's a pretty mild. It's the most mild version of that ride.
Is it really? Yeah. Well, I did. I literally, I got the fast pass, saw the pre-show, just went through the queue like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Wow. And then got to the ride and was like, no, it's okay. I'm exiting. And they were like, are you being serious?
Are you sure?
And I said, no, I'm exiting. And it's so funny because they grilled me for like 5 minutes. They were like, you're not coming back? Do you want to come back? No. Ever? No.
No. And have you found the plush yet? Where is the plush? I'm still looking.
Yeah. Where's the damn plush?
I mean, that queue is... So I have a story about that queue. I took a photo of, that big head that's hanging in the queue. And I took a photo... And then I looked down at it, and I realized that there was those two glowing eyes of Shariki hiding inside. I had no idea it was there when I took the photo, and it was incredible kind of like visceral experience. Something I brought up with Justin, and I still think is true, and I think it hits on what you're saying about easy games. But for me, I think my themed entertainment love began with Myst. Like I can't unlink Myst and Riven as themed experiences because they're very advanced.
Is Myst a point and click adventure?
Yeah, I mean it's well, it's not point and click in like LucasArts style. It's sure. You move about and you see a table and you can click things on the table. You don't like have an inventory.
Gotcha.
In that way, like there's very little interface because you are just kind of taking it in, and they've slowly moved like the first two of those games all the way to VR and re-rendered all of them. And I just, for me, like I can't, that kind of game. I think I got the same feeling from the is it called The Box? That was an iPad game. Oh, what was that called? There were multiple versions of it, but it was just Puzzle Box, and you just had to go through and figure it out. Oh, maybe the chest. I can't remember. But I'm
into those point and click games, man. I played my fair share of King's Quest, Sierra's King's Quest. Man, I love those games.
They're too hard.
Oh yeah, my mom played those all the time when I was growing up. My family was.
Are you insulting me, sir?
No. My family, we were a gamer family. We were very.
That's cool.
My mom would play those, and I would like sit. We had like a, of course, like everyone did back then, a computer room at the time.
Yes.
And I mean, I would just, she'd be playing that on the PC, and I would sit in like the recliner behind her, just like, okay, yeah, click on that. You should go there. You should go there. We really embraced all those kind of games together. And again, like, not to mention Final Fantasy again, but like she would play those on Super Nintendo. We would gather around like it was like movie night. Like it was just like, oh, they're going to go to the moon. Oh, she got the airship. They're going to go to the moon now. Oh, okay. Like that was just like an exciting thing for us. So
that's
those
really
King's
sweet,
Quest games
Rocco.
have a
That's
lot
kind
of
of cool
memories.
that your mom, like taught you that video games could be self-care. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it is this kind of cool thing that's like grown with you. It's weird. I'm now thinking about it. My mom was super into Dr. Mario. She was just super into Dr. Mario, man.
No.
She just loved playing Dr. Mario. And I was like, I guess I got into it, and I think that's kind of what started me. Mario, she just loved the classic Mario. My mom loved classic Mario. It was just so satisfying for her, 20-year-old, Gen X mind or whatever. So that's wild. That's wild. Or no, maybe
my
she's
entire
a boomer.
family was way into Dr. Mario. Yeah, totally. We all played that.
Here's a question.
One of the guys.
Go ahead, Dan.
I have a local buddy in my town. He's a comedian. His name literally is Glenn Tickle, and he holds one of the world records for Dr. Mario.
That's
so
incredible.
Oh my gosh!
He's a local legend here, a world record Dr. Mario holder. So,
Dan,
what was the legend for the coolest? What is it like? Most pills dropped, or
highest score. You can like max that score out.
He's known as the pill guy in town.
Yeah. That's a different guy.
That's a different guy.
That's Glenn Pickle. He's the pill guy.
Dan, I did have a question for you both, which is favorite Donkey Kong character.
Ooh.
I like that. I like the Crocodile King from the cartoon.
King K. Rool.
He's hilarious.
I was just going to say King K. Rool. It's hard to top that.
He's a chaos agent. You know what I mean? He's just hilarious. And Diddy Kong is fun. Diddy Kong was fun. I like a Diddy.
I think it's going to go to Funky Kong for me. I think Funky, though I'm concerned that he might have I don't know, he's got a weird energy. Like he could have stormed the Capitol and I wouldn't have been surprised. That's kind of Funky Kong's energy. But
like the shaman, like the Q shaman.
Yeah.
Funky Kong has Q shaman energy, is what you're saying here?
Kind of.
How dare you?
I never thought that.
I don't mean it in a bad way. I just think that you can either
you don't mean
look
that in a bad way. How is that possibly to be received in a positive way?
Fair enough. What I would say though is it's either it's I think you could see him as sort of a stoner, but he's too cool. Like he's got his bandana on his head and stuff. He's just kind of rad. So.
He is cool. He is. Wow. I guess you're right. He is cool. He's the Cheech and Chong you know, in the
if you were
gonna
universe. If you were gonna smoke with one Nintendo character, that's pretty high up there. I think Funky Kong.
Funky Kong. If you were gonna get baked with a Nintendo character, that's who you would choose.
Oh yeah,
it'd be him, and then who was the guy, the SimCity guy, Mr. Wright or whatever? The
yeah.
Guy?
Yeah, the kind of Einstein.
He probably have all kinds of cool ideas. You know, he'd be like, he's got that green hair already, so you already know he's doing that. You know, and then he'd be like, should have like Godzilla go through. You know, what if instead of tearing down the food court, we just have like Godzilla do it? You know, pretty cool.
Perfect. Oh my gosh. Makes me think of the guy on infomercials who like wore suits with money signs all over him. He's like, the government's giving away money for free. You know, that guy.
Yeah, Matthew Lesko.
Yeah. He's still on TikTok, I think. He's still hawking his books. Yeah, in the same suit, by the way. He's still wearing the same suits.
I mean, if you got it, why would you get rid of it?
Yeah, exactly.
So now what are your takes on Nintendo Land as a whole? I know you've been there. I know that like you've explored it. You haven't had a Donkey Kong experience yet. So I want to, you know, we have that yet to come. And then I want to like get your hot takes on what you want to see added to it even further down the line. But what is like, how do you feel the Mario Kart ride? Like where does it take you?
It's funny, that Mario Kart ride, I had never heard more disparate takes on any attraction before, you know, and I always go out of my way to not watch anything of a ride beforehand. I you know, I'm a fan of just like, unless I have like fear of, like I said, like some kind of thrill aspect that I'm not good with. Like, oh, hey, this ride ended up having, you know, a 2-minute drop where you're, you know, or you know, you're 8 minutes underwater or something. I might have to look that up.
Those are some terrifying rides. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But
you're in Getmo. You know, but you're not at a theme park. I think you're confused.
Yeah. Well, you know, whatever. But
thanks.
Sometimes I have to look those things up. But otherwise, if I don't think I have to, I don't. And so Mario Kart, I remember before it opened, so many people watched videos of it like, oh, this is no good. It doesn't look that fun. I'm like, I ain't watching a video. Why would you're supposed to wear a headset? Like, this isn't the experience you're meant to see. So, going on it the first time, I went in cold. I was really overwhelmed and kind of like, what was I supposed to look at there? Like that, there was so much happening, but the second time it clicked and I'm like, I'm digging this. I like that there was so much physical stuff built. I like that they didn't skimp on that. And then the AR angle kind of added this extra layer of hype on top of all that. So overall, yeah, I really liked it. You know, a lot of times nowadays, the wait time is kind of gnarly for it. So I'm not doing that all the time. But man, here in California, there was a moment where it was, I think it was supposed to open February last year. Was the whole land was. Mm-hmm. There was a whole month, like it opened in January, and it was like no one figured it out. Like they just soft opened it a month ahead of time, and it's so funny because I kept telling people, "Oh my God, you guys, there's no one in this land right now." I was going on a weekday, and it's like I have this land to myself. You should come down now. And I kept having people, I would tell them this and they'd be like, oh no, I was planning to go when it opened. Guys, it's open now. You can come now. There's no one here.
I'm texting you. I'm pooping to the aquatic sounds of Nintendo soundtracks right now.
Yeah. Listen. Yeah. But I kept trying to convince people like, come now. There's no wait for anything. And people were like not getting it. Like, well, it's not open yet. It is. But anyway, but yeah, there was like a month that I was repeatedly going back and didn't have to wait for the Mario Kart ride at all. And I loved it. Like I said, now, you know, would I wait 2 hours for it? Probably not, but I really enjoy that attraction. I really dig it. So
I have a question because you essentially like caught yourself in an interesting like emotional conundrum because you went in blind. You went in completely blind, but then found yourself in a space where you ended up being overwhelmed by the first experience because you didn't really even know what to do. And then upon your second experience, you had a good time. So it feels like it's almost evidence against your I'm going in cold exclusively, because like if you would have had some understanding about the mechanics of the ride and the story of the ride, you could have went in there and at least had a good foundation for where you're at. What do you how do you think about that in reflection?
I don't know if it would have mattered, to be honest. Like, I feel like until I was sitting in that seat and seeing how it all worked and like the actual implementation of the headset and all that stuff, I feel like even if I watched 100 videos of that, it still would have been too much. Like going in the first time, like, whoa, that's over oh my gosh, just 360 everywhere. Like I feel like I still would have been very overwhelmed no matter how prepared I was.
I've just had discussions with a friend or two, and I've also watched maybe a piece of media about it or read about it, that spoilers all in all across the board actually aren't bad for your brain. In fact, your brain likes spoilers because it relieves anxiety of tension and also allows you to experience the narrative more like fluidly, because you know the beats that are happening, and so you understand why the beats are happening. And so it's like, it's interesting that like when they study it, people who have a thing spoiled for them end up leaving in their double blind tests, end up leaving enjoying it more than the people who went in cold and didn't know anything, because your brain's like, it's building up the dopamine release of like, oh, it's going to happen. There it is. It happened. And I knew it was going to happen. And I have that kind of control over, I know it's going to happen. Well, so it's interesting. And it's a big thing with theme parks. People go in cold. How about the Tokyo Beauty and the Beast ride? Did you go in totally cold there?
Now, because that's what I was going to say is, on the other hand, I felt like that was one I did go in totally cold, and I felt like that made it 1,000 times better.
It must have peeled your brain back when he transformed.
I was constantly being barraged with, they're not doing that. They're doing that. How are they doing it? What? Yeah. Like, so that was one, maybe that's, maybe the no spoiler argument is better for a much more passive experience. Cause I will say, Mario Kart, it might have given me a heads up a little more than what I had. Maybe that would have helped. I still think it would have been overwhelming, but I would have at least had some leg up on the experience.
Is it the same sort of interactivity, like feeling is like, I don't know, like Smuggler's Run, in that sense of the overwhelmingness of the gamifying aspect?
Yeah, maybe that's the part that is hard to just jump in. Because not to open this can of worms or Pandora's box or whatever metaphor you'd like to use.
That's over in Animal Kingdom.
We still have debates here on. We were lucky enough to go to the Galactic Starcruiser like the week before it closed, and our party was divided on me and Kevin here at Mega64. We were like, go in cold, don't want to see anything. I just want to like experience it. And our buddy that went with us, polar opposite, studied the lore, here's what could happen in this room. Here's what could happen if you talk to this guy. Here's what he was like Dark Souls mode. Yeah. He just wanted 100%
road game informer.
How did he do?
Well, that's the thing, is like a lot of the trip, I think we would have screwed up had he not been in the group going like, don't do that. Like, come with me. Don't do that.
Well, it's interesting. Jenny Nicholson's video about the Starcruiser, she kind of went in like you guys. She's like, no, I if this is the story, if this is the gig, if I'm supposed to go in there and have an authentic, like, immersive experience, then I am not watching any of your nonsense. And like, it's funny. I remember being in a Discord with like her and Kevin and like Rob Play. Like, we're all talking about like, are we going to do it? What are we going to do? And like, she had just booked, and we were thinking about booking, and we found like the captain's table upgrade for like $35 on top top of the 6,000 you just spent. For 35 extra dollars, you could sit at the captain's table. And she was like super pissed. She's like, I didn't even know this thing existed. You know, like, how could I have like upgraded, you know, because it's so fascinating that, Disney. Well, I think Disney, and that's a whole separate thing, though, because Disney vacations have become like an amazing race exercise, like where it's like, all right, hit all of these targets, do all of these things, and by the way, don't beat the crap out of your family, and don't have an emotional breakdown. You're in public. Just remember.
It really is like you have to like strategy guide all this stuff. Fortunately I did. I don't know how I knew about the captain's table thing already. Like I knew about that ahead of time. I had heard about that, but I do wonder. I saw her video too. And, there were a lot, we had a fantastic experience there, but we continue to have a debate on if that was because because we tried not to listen to our friend too much, just in general.
You had a lore wizard with you.
So, you know, we have a debate on how much he kind of tipped us off or how much that affected the experience. And some parts of it, we were like, yo, bro, shut up. You know, why, you know, but then there were other parts. It's like, he kind of did point us in the right direction, didn't he? Okay.
Yeah, he worm-tongued your Theoden. He did. He did. He worm-tongued your Galactic Theoden.
Several times. Yeah.
Amazing. So, hey, at the end of every episode, we love to like check in and about some fun stuff we're doing. I had a great time talking to you about Donkey Kong. It's going to be a great theme park edition. I can't wait to see what Nintendo does next. What do you think they're going to do next? What do you think? Zelda?
I did want to say this, and I'm going to sound negative for a second here. But I will say, you know, when they announced like, the Donkey Kong expansion, I did have that moment of like, everyone I know is like, this might be the greatest land ever. And I was kind of sitting there just like, I don't know, is the Donkey Kong world, is that like somewhere I was always dying to go? I don't really know. But that being said, I had the same thought about Nintendo world in general, like Mario. I love the Mario games. You know, is that somewhere I was like dreaming of going? But then once I went there and I'm standing in the middle of the land, it was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm in the middle of a damn video game, you know? So I anticipate I'm going to have the same feeling being in the Donkey Kong land. It's just going to be like, you're joking. This is really happening. Yeah. So I am, optimistic about it, but Hyrule is one that from the get-go, from the moment I started playing Zelda, however many decades ago, that is somewhere I dreamed of going. Like, oh my God, if I could go to this place. So if they ever make a move on that is, I mean, more so, you know,
Rocco, what do you want? What Hyrule theme park iteration? What is Rocco's Zelda dream for a ride?
If they could stage it in a way, and this would be a nightmare infrastructure wise, but if they could make it where it feels like you're the only one going into a temple, like they stage it in a way where it's like, okay, that group's gone. Now you're going to go into the Temple of Time and it's just you in there. And you know, and it's like, it truly is that lonely feeling of, again, like you have as Link, you go into a temple and it's
Did you ever have a chance to do Poseidon's Fury at Universal Studios Islands of Adventure?
I've had a lot of great luck over the years when it comes to theme park stuff or just like having a feeling about something. I must have been there right before they announced it was closing. I think I went to Florida for the Retro Magic event.
Okay. WW Retro Magic. Yeah.
Yeah. I was there first time I ever did that event. And I was like, I should make time to go over to Universal. I had never been to the Universal in Orlando ever.
Oh,
so I was like, I'm going to take a day and just go do that. And yeah, I did that, Poseidon's Fury. And oh my God, like I had so much fun. And then as soon as I left, they announced, oh, it's closing.
Now, could you see something like that for Zelda? Could you see like a kind of walkthrough group sort of thing instead of like a coaster or a drop tower or teacups or whatever?
Yes.
You know,
I kind of feel like that's almost more appropriate to use that IP or whatever you want to call it. I think that's almost like the most appropriate use of it, rather than like we're on a ride. Wee, you know, it feels like no, it should be exploration. It should be you're not supposed to be in here. How do we get this to work? You know, I feel like that. You know, Donkey Kong, the minecart thing. That's like perfect. That's if you've played the game, you're like, oh my god, am I going to get to do the minecart? Yes. Oh my god, you know, that's perfect for that. But for Zelda, I kind of feel like exploration is almost like the name of the game. It should be that.
I wouldn't mind seeing like the Baymax ride or like the alien swirling saucer, but it's inside the big horse stables from Tears of the Kingdom, you know, and with the big horse head on top, you know, I think that would be so cool.
Sure.
I do need
some flat ride. You need a flat ride.
I do need one team member, Universal team members, whose whole job is just to hold that sign though. That has to be.
Yeah.
Just
that would be so awesome, legitimately. In that land to have someone constantly knocking that sign over, like, I'm so sorry, can you help me? Can you help me?
A must.
Here, let me just pitch you my 60-second elevator pitch. Wind Waker log flume. Wind Waker log flume.
Dude.
Like you know, like with the whole, like, all just bright, colorful animatronics. You got a big old red boat with the face on the front, you know, Maelstrom style, and it's just a Wind Waker log flume, you know, with a big old splash. You know, I think that could, or like Pirates, you know, like a Wind Waker Pirates like kind of ride, like a dark ride animatronic. I think that could, people are like, oh no, we want like a Zelda. You don't know what you want. A Wind Waker log flume, baby. Yeah. That's what you really want.
I love it. I love
it. Even if it was just a boat ride, but if it was anything if it was anything like a flume or a boat ride, I feel like it would have to be Wind Waker themed. Like that just fits that.
Right, and the animatronics of Wind Waker animation would just smash. They just look so good. You know what I mean? It's Cranky Kong that we just saw. It's like that. It's like that. The CGI sort of like cell shaded. It's perfect.
Good use of blacklight as well.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. Well, someone call the Universal Yellow Shoes. Let's get this going.
I think it would actually also be cool to do if it was like a boat ride that was Tears of the Kingdom themed, and they make you assemble your own boat. Like you have to like here's a bunch of logs and like a branch and a barrel or something. Like you just gotta make it, hope it floats.
Just don't tell OSHA.
Picture seeing that, like,
oh yeah,
you know, someone's grandma is like trying to put the thing together and then they sit and they just fall in the river. Like that'd be hilarious. It'd be like, oh, sorry, Grandma.
Grandma Zelda dunk tank. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're proposing?
Sounds great.
Sure.
I hope that eventually, around the land they hide little Kokorok. Is that what do you call Kokoroks or whatever?
Koroks,
little leaf
Koroks.
I've got dyslexia. I don't know how to read, and so I hope you have those hidden all over the place, so you could like find them with your little band and tap. Hyrule is such a smash. I'm just waiting.
Like I said, all these other lands I didn't think I'd want to visit, and then once I was there, it was like, wow, okay, but Hyrule. I'm afraid what that's even going to be. That is like, I'm too excited now just thinking about like that'll be next level. That'll be next level. Absolutely,
next level. Well, at the end of every episode, like I previously said before, we ADD riffed back.
No, good.
No, we had to talk about it. We love to chat about things we're doing for fun. You know, it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm your Chuckle King. I have to share with you the fun, and I want to know what you guys are doing for fun at home. By the way, leave me comments because I like learning about fun things all the time. So you know, make sure you hit me up on the holy socials. But right now, I'm addicted. It's a little bit of a problem to deck building roguelike games on Steam. I've been playing Ballionaire, which is a hilarious like Plinko style like deck building game where you just have to build random bumpers for your Ballionaire ball. I've been playing Koopy Claw. it's a claw game, deck building, but it's just so zen and peaceful. I mean, it's actually not. It's incredibly stressful. I've been playing Luck Be a Landlord. I just discovered it. I'm apparently a grandpa, but I have been hooked on Luck Be a Landlord. So I'm just obsessed with roguelike deck building games. And if you know of any, please send them my way because I'm eating them up.
Wow.
Dan, let's see here. I am into recently. The Nintendo company has released an app called Nintendo Music, which if you have a subscription, to the Nintendo service, you get free use of.
I do. I have a family one, like for Nintendo Plus or Nintendo Online or whatever.
Yep. All you gotta do is sign in to your account on the app, and you're good to go. And it is
wild.
That's
how I sign into my Fortnite account. Is my Nintendo login.
There you go.
So
and it's
I got it saved everywhere.
It's not perfect. There's some bugs, and the game library is a little small, but they have already like amazing like break time playlists, mood based playlists that go from the Wii Shop or the Wii Shop all the way to like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. And
whoa, that's awesome.
It's fun. And the hard part about Nintendo Music has always been that it's very catchy and jazzy and great. But they've been notoriously like litigious about how that gets online.
No kidding. I don't know if people know this or not, and this is something I learned in my video game days, because I used to have a website for Disney Infinity and Lego Dimensions, Rocco, back in the day. I was a big Toys to Life. I was a Toys to Life video game journalist before it all got canceled and I became a theme park content creator. Man, those games were so great, weren't they? I love them so much. I miss Disney Infinity. I miss it all. But I guess Fortnite's just become that with all the kids.
I was just going to say, with Disney Infinity, I never really got super involved in that. I thought, all the little figurines were super cool. But I didn't really get involved. And then it was only once it ended that I remember, who was it? John something? Someone
Vignacchi?
who worked at the company.
JV, John Vignacchi was it
might have been.
Yeah, now he works for Nintendo, I think.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Well, I just remember when it ended, he was like, damn, I was really working on at the time. It was like right when they stopped doing Disney Infinity, he was like, damn, I was so close to, I was trying to get them to approve Captain EO figure. And I was like, what?
Yeah, that was Johnny.
That was Johnny. I was so mad. I was like, we could have had Captain EO, like a Captain EO figure. Like, come on.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's fun. It's a good service for the most part. And
yeah, it sounds cool.
I think it'll get better. Naughty them. They're not giving credit to the composers yet on like tracks.
Yeah.
Which is, it's so basic. But that's very Japan to be like, we own it. It's company men that made the music, so what's the matter? But it's worth it because great stuff. Great.
Not
pops.
to complete my ADD thought that I just had, but when I was making all that video game content, the thing I learned from other video game YouTubers is that to make Nintendo YouTube content, you actually have to sign up for and become an approved Nintendo content creator, and then they whitelist your channel because they will copyright you on like the Navi Hey or like the Link sword swipe because like every like you cannot monetize any Nintendo videos like on YouTube. It's just verboten. And so like my buddy Pack Attack, who has like legendary just Nintendo game player, he just plays and makes compilations of every Nintendo game, and the only way he can do that is because he is like part of an official Nintendo program that like whitelists you as like a creator. Otherwise you would just get instantly shut down because of all their music and all. They're so litigious. It's so crazy. They're like living in they're just some of the stuff they do is so behind the times. It feels like it's just behind the times.
I do love the concept though of saying like, well, you could release all your music on Spotify, and then being like, or we could just make our own app. Like there's so like people complain about Apple and their fence being high, and it's like the amount of moat and fence and gate that Nintendo is so much higher for their sacred garden. So I'm always happy when they give me crumbs, and I'll take it.
So Rocco, what are you doing for fun?
So last time I'm going to mention that I was in Tokyo. Last time.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
But I really, I dedicated the last few days of my trip really to the theme parks. Like I was like, okay, went everywhere I wanted to in Tokyo, met up with everyone I wanted to. Now I'm kind of like, I'm just doing the theme park stuff. And what was really, this is going to sound weird, but what was the most fun aspect of it, I didn't know a lot about, I went to Tokyo Disneyland and DisneySea one time, like maybe a decade ago, and I didn't know anything. I think it was more than a decade ago, and I didn't know anything about them. It was just, I just showed up and did like one ride, and it was like, okay, well, that took a really long time. I guess I'm going to leave now. I don't know. I didn't know anything. Now I'm a seasoned veteran. Now I'm like, oh, I got to see all this stuff. And something that I thought was really funny was something that I kept reading when I was researching the parks online was, the locals really love to line up early for the theme parks in Japan. They'll line up as early as 4:30 in the morning, which blew my mind. But every guide that I read was like, obviously you're not going to do that. So here's how to best navigate the theme parks when you show up at like 8:00. Every single guide that I read online said that, or website or blog or whatever would say that. And I'd be like, no, screw that. I'm committed to this. I'm showing up at 4:30 in the morning. Let's see what happens. And it's funny because, I mean, that wasn't like, obviously, waking up that early isn't always the most fun. But every morning that I went to the parks, I would wait there for, 3.5, 4, however long. And there were so many other people there. They were not wrong.
No.
But
with their picnic blankets and everything.
Picnic blankets, chairs that they set up, like they had a whole thing. And strangely enough, it's like the most I've ever like made friends with just locals of Japan, trying to talk to them through the language barrier.
Wow, that's
I
cool.
like, it was like an amazing experience. Like going
just
out there
me
and
into
like,
it. When I go, I'm going to do it now. That sounds that sounds awesome.
It's fun.
it was like really positive, like sitting there and like, I got my like, onigiri and stuff to like eat for breakfast and like hang out and talk with, I don't know. It was like insanely positive. Like, that like made the whole experience that much more. And then of course there's the added benefit of like, I got to, I was like first to get on like the new Frozen ride and like all that other stuff. Like that was good too. Don't get me wrong. But just being there with everyone early in the morning, it was like very, very positive and fun. And like, you don't often like make friends with random strangers in Japan. Like everyone's kind of like keeping to themselves, and it's kind of hard to make that happen. But like I was like super, super positive and fun. And like that made me,
it's where they let their hair down a little. Like, there's a little bit of that. Yeah. Cause when I went and I was alone for a soft opening at Fantasy Springs, and I was like, I got to get photos. And like, I would just kind of do do you mind? And they'd be like, oh yeah, of course. And like, I'd make them chuckle and I'd ham it up, and they loved it because it's just, they like to interact when it's like, they are very much like, they treat the park's like a community, kind of like everyone's kind of together in the whole thing. Yeah. Which is totally different than that. Here. Yeah.
No. Yeah. It's a money-making merch machine for a lot of people here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So but get those popcorn buckets.
So it was really like, I that will like stick with me forever. I'm still like now that I'm back home, the thing I'm most nostalgic for is actually like those early morning waits before the park. Like I thought that was going to be like the biggest pain in the ass of my trip. And I kind of missed that the most. It's like hanging out there and everyone kind of talking and showing like like someone made a hat that was like decorated like Stitch's Tiki Room. Amazing. Like it was like a brimmed hat, and they put the characters all over it, and they were showing how they made it and stuff. I don't know. It was just really like, that was really special. So like,
that's
what I was doing the last few days.
That warms my heart. I love that. I guess I got to go to Japan.
Yep.
To be cool. This is what all the cool people are doing.
Let me tell you, regardless of anything else I said, you really should do it now, because oh my God, everything was so cheap.
Yeah.
The yen is so weak right now. I was like baller at the park.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing like, oh yeah, give me a fast pass to that. I'm going to get this whole big meal, and I was
bottle of soda for $1. Give me that. Sure.
I'm eating a feast. I'm in like the secret room in Magellan's, and I'm eating all this stuff, and then it's over, and it's like, okay,
$50 tops.
Oh, it wasn't even that. I was having feasts for like $9. It's like, how? What? Did they not charge me the full thing? Yeah. No, it's just after all the conversion.
Are you arguing that I could fly to Japan, stay at Disney World and Tokyo, and still save money versus going to the Disney World and staying at the Polygon?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, in comparison, for sure. I would say that there are so many hotel options. I stayed at like the cheapest one that you take the bus, I always forget the name of it, but it's the magic and there's a princess side and then there's like an adventure side. And
I actually don't know about this. So
yeah. And it was like, you have to take a bus. It's about a 20-minute full drive, but it's Disney owned. So you get the buy tickets when you get there, the whole shebang. But they have all these associate ones too. And their prices are, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to stay at like, the whatchamacallit at DisneySea, but like those rooms are expensive.
I was looking at one point into like what would it like to be, but I was just at some random hotel 20 something minutes
it's
away.
Really not that hard.
It was
so
really
easy.
cool. Although there was one morning, I was still getting the hang of like transportation there and stuff like that, and I'm like, you know what, it'll be a little pricier, but again, the yen works in our favor right now. I'm going to take a taxi. It's not that far. I'm going to do that. And I did go one morning. I took a taxi, and I think the driver was like 90 something, and he did not know what DisneySea was.
No.
So he drove down there, and the whole drive was just going, DisneySea, DisneySea, DisneySea. And then he was driving into like shipyards, I was seeing shipping containers, and he just kept repeating to himself, mistake. And when it was all over, we finally found it. I was trying to help him. I mean, I'm on like Apple Maps, like I think it's go this, whatever. And by the time it was over the counter, it was like it would have been like $150 cab ride. Like he just kept going around and around. But we parked at DisneySea. He got out of the cab and just bowed. Mistake. He was trying to communicate to me. Mistake.
The dishonor.
And he did not charge me.
Yeah.
He would not receive money for it. I was like, oh, okay. So I was a little late to the park that day, but we had a moment.
Because of mistake.
Mistake.
In English?
Yeah, he kept trying to convey it. He just kept saying mistake. Yeah.
Oh, what a bummer. Poor guy.
Yeah, I felt really bad, but free cab ride though.
Free
so
cab
that was cool.
ride. There you go.
Finger goods, man. Well, this was fun, Rocco. Thank you so much. I had a great time.
You.
I had a great time. I'm looking forward to an entire Diddy Kong Rap Mega64 cover, hopefully coming soon, or the entire canon of Donkey Kong recapped. Like, I need some sweeted. I just need more Mega64 Donkey Kong content. I'm just really. I'm just saying there's so much to reap. There's so much to reap here, Rocco.
We'll get on it. I'm sorry. We'll get to work on that, and I'm sorry we let you down. We're going to do our best.
Mistake.
We're going to do our best.
Mistake. Rocco, is there any fun projects you want to like talk about or promote or give thumbs up, or do you just want to brag about meeting Kojima? Like, what do you want to do?
No, if you've never watched Mega64 before, just look up Mega64 on YouTube. We've been doing videos, video game related stuff. We have a podcast, all that stuff. We've been doing that for over 20 years at this point, pre-YouTube. So
it's great. If
you never looked us up, feel free to. And then if you want more theme park adjacent stuff, I have a personal YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Rocco Botte. And we have a show called Creepy Old Crypt where me and my friends just talk theme park stuff very casually. It's not very structured and not very informational. We just kind of
we don't know what that's like at all.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Yeah, it's totally different. No, but yeah, so that's kind of where we talk about that stuff. But yeah, Mega64
cool.
or Rocco Botte on YouTube, any of those things, you'll find something, hopefully.
Well, that's amazing. And I love all the outpouring of support that like came your way. Like the internet was like Mega64, hell no, it's not going anywhere. And they just like rolled in, man. It was great. Because so many brands try it and no one shows up.
Yeah. Yeah, we were not sure about Mega64's future. We didn't know kind of like, because again, we've been around a long time, so a lot of the platforms that we're on have changed, and it's like, we don't know if we want your brand of stuff on here anymore. And so it was kind of like, what do we do? And then the second we announced any kind of thought about like, should we continue it to exist or not, as you said, everyone came out and we were trending for some reason. Like, even when we've put out like our biggest videos, we were never trending like that. But this time we were, and there were people, just everyone everywhere came out. It was really amazing. So, thank you to everybody out there. If you posted about us at all or came out to support or anything, we've been, like I said, we've been around since 2003. It's hard to, very few things on the internet have lasted that long. And
Thurl Ravencroft was around to listen to your first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He was like one of our first fans.
He was right after 9/11. He was real bummed right about
9/11. Yeah, but
yeah, he saw 9/11 happen, and he was like, "This is bad, but I think this is not great, but I think there will be some funny skits to watch on the internet very soon. Give it a couple years." And sure enough,
here it is. Here it is. He manifested you. It was wild.
Thank you, Thurl.
Well, this is great. What a great podcast. And now it's over, so everyone can stop listening.
Good.
How do you end your casual podcast, Rock? I just like saying this is over. That's what I just say, and then it's over.
You do.
Okay, sorry. Last story. I'm not gonna. I won't go long.
Please, you're fine.
For some reason,
we care.
Sorry, it sounded like somebody was coming in here with a chainsaw. I don't know why, but I've always liked ending things with like, okay, you've got the camera. Like if we're out and about talking to the camera, I always think it's funny to like put the camera, like throw it in the trash can, something like that. You know what I mean? Okay. Where it's like, well, this show's over, bye, and then chuck it in the trash can and stop it. And I did that actually. I think it was last year doing our Creepy Old Crypt show. We were talking about what was then at the time the new Mickey ride in California. We had just gotten Mickey's Runaway Railway, and I did that. I was like, well, that's the end of the episode. Bye. Put the camera in the trash can and walked away, just thinking it'd be funny. And we were detained by Disney security. We were in line for the ride, and suddenly all these security people started coming up the sides of the queue, and we were like, what's going on? What are they heading? Is there an emergency going on? And then they all start heading to me and Kevin. It's like, oh no. And they were like, hi, could you come with us? Get out of the line, please. Come with us. It was like, oh no. And they pulled us into a side room, and they were like, we received word that you placed a device in the trash can and walked away. What was this device? And I was like, oh, I had to explain. I'm like, I think it's funny to, when I'm recording a video, to throw it away. So it was just the camera. And they were like,
you
what?
In a cold room under fluorescents.
Yeah.
Good cop, bad cop, Disney.
Exactly.
Goofy's around the corner with a bat ready to beat you to death.
Yeah.
And you're like, guys, I think it's just hilarious to throw my camera away.
So I literally showed them on my phone other videos where I've done that. I'm like, see, this is my calling card. Whenever a video ends, I chuck it in the trash can. That's
Serial
it. That's
killers
all
have
it was.
calling cards. I don't know if you want to call it a calling card, Rocco.
Yeah. That was definitely not the move.
Oops. But
hey, you didn't get trespassed.
I showed them that, like, here's 8 different videos where I do that, and they were all cracking up. They were like, that's what it was? And I was like, yeah. And then they were like, oh, you're good. Do you want to go on the ride? We'll just cut you on.
Yay!
Okay. And so they just Dude, I was gonna say they fast passed it up, but it's not called that or whatever now. But
No.
They cut us onto whatever we wanted. It was awesome. So once again,
So throw away your phone, get caught by
Exactly.
the cops.
exactly.
You do suspicious things that are secretly innocuous, and then you just,
Do suspicious stuff, get auspicious rewards.
end of the podcast. That's it.
This has been a production of 710 Media.